Item number 4, which is the adoption of the 2014 budget. Tracy, would you please come forward?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Woo! This hasn't happened since 2007, but here we are. I had a briefing with the commission yesterday, almost 2 hours. Went through the changes to the recap and the budget that was presented last week. So I don't know how much of that you want to.
Well, any of the major changes that you found are for the bottom line and stuff would be appreciated.
Okay.
That's a big one. That's when I
Keep everybody.
Sean has it.
Okay. One of the big changes I had was to clarify the road diversion, traffic policing, that all the change sheets from moving it from one department to another, which doesn't matter which number. There was only 258,000 moved. Now it should be 1.2 million. That is what our road diversion tax is. That the resolution that was adopted by the commission on the 3rd states. So that has now been changed. And then there was a transfer out that was part of the sheriff's budget, even though they're collecting the money, the transfers out should be all the transfers out department. And then there was some changes in the treasurer's, not because of what the treasurer submitted, but just totals. So the biggest change on current expense was ending fund. Because of the date that we're doing this, I queried revenues for December. They're not posted, and we'll have over 7 million. So I left the 6.8 that I presented, the 9.3. Oh, and just to clarify, if there's anybody that's not heard this, by law, we start the budget process in July and June, and the departments submit budgets in August, and I present the budget to the commissioners by law for the auditor, who is sick today, on 9/3, or the first Tuesday by law of every year. Then it's the commissioner's process to balance and adopt this budget by 12/31. So at that time I presented 6.8 million. We have some things that have transpired. That makes, it'll probably be over 7 million, but I feel like if we leave it at 6.8 still, that would also leave our ending fund balance at 5.2. Right now our recurring expenditures are about 2.2 million a month, and 60 days operating is what the state auditors would like us to have. Even though we do have a local resolution on our fund balance policy that states 9 to 12% of the current year, of the previous year budget, which is about 2.6. So 5.2. So the total current expense is 33,809,280. On the special funds, we had some changes because we had actually the new bond fund for the jail that wasn't even set up or approved, but it is now. In approving your budget, you're approving that fund and the budget. So that has been set up. The $300,000 in interest and principal payments for that bond are also set up. So that was a large change. And then the a transfer to the welfare wastewater of $200,000 from the REIT 1 fund was added. Actually, the REIT 1 fund last week had $753,000 for a budget. It's actually $3,599,185, and that is to take care of the renovations and the capital improvements. For most of that difference is because of the new bond and the capital improvements for the jail. The REIT 2 fund also had changes, or the total was not, the total of 1.5 million that was presented last week is now 1.1 million. So So the total adopted budget that was presented last week was 88 million. And what the commission had before them to pass this morning is 91,908,576 for all funds.
Thank you very much, Teresa.
You're welcome. I also have detailed, if you pass this, I can PDF and put the detailed budgets online. Because I keep our financial services, financial reports updated, and I can PDF this detailed budget when you pass this too. We'll set online so everybody can see what their budgets are.
Okay, thank you. Questions, Commissioner? Okay. We're going to go ahead and give an opportunity for the community to testify if they want. And if not, no problem. We'll just move forward. But if you'd like to testify, this is your opportunity. You'll have one shot. I'll wait then.
Those are the years.
Okay. Commissioners?
I have a few comments I'd like to make.
Please.
I think it's very appropriate that we're passing this budget on New Year's Eve. I truly do. I do believe that because this budget sets the stage for a new year that seeks to address the immediate needs of our county while planning for a brighter future. 2014, we will launch our mental health and substance abuse case management services. We will put 3 new deputies into our community to serve and protect. We will better equip our jail facility. We will prepare us to meet the ever-growing needs of our criminal justice system. We will begin more realistic county comprehensive land use and economic development planning based on the experience of the past 10 years and creating a new vision for the future. We will develop a long-range plan for the Belfair sewer. We will create the infrastructure necessary to manage county-wide support functions in a comprehensive manner. The 2014 budget honors all our county employees by normalizing and standardizing our wage and benefits across the multiple collective bargaining units as well as the non-represented. In 2014, we will continue to manage our risk and to strive to keep the county out of court. In 2014, there will be a year that launches better strategic planning that is informed by data. I would urge all the elected and department heads and their staff to be thinking about trending out the past and looking forward to the future so that we can have a 5 to 10 year outlook about how we're going to pay for county services, how we potentially will grow them, and what might go inside. I'm very happy to pass this budget, and I look forward to having a 5-year plan by the end of 2014.
I'll start off by thanking you, Teresa. Thank you for pulling all that stuff together and doing that. I'm so very thankful. We have some incredible people to work with. You know, there's been some things said in this last month or so about transparency and how things work and stuff like that. Somebody reminded me of something. You know, we had a lot of challenges this year, as we all know, with the R&R, and that just put it lightly. But you can't be more transparent than 50 meetings. You know, we've had like at least 50 different budget meetings during this year. I don't know if any other time you guys ever had anything to do with anything like that, but what it came down to, though, was also what were we going to do each time we looked at the budgets. And I think I said it before, initially when I came in, I thought I was going to be laying people off. I really did. The smaller government's always been one of my biggest objectives. I thought that was always the solution. But after going over each and every budget and taking the time to do what we've done, I realized that that wasn't actually a very good option with the point we were in our history here in this county. We have brought it down to a very, very small number to do a lot of functions. And in some departments, they don't have enough to do the simple functions that are necessary today. And there needed to be some consolidation, there needed to be some moving around in order to make all this successful for tomorrow. So we've had a lot of meetings. And if we hadn't, it most likely would have been a very simple, across the board, 10 to 15% cut, just to keep it simple. I'm glad it didn't work out that way. I think we're doing the right thing. I know it's been hard and it's been drawn out because, you know, whenever any change occurs or anything big happens, it does take time. But I think by doing all of our due diligence and putting in all the efforts we can, I think we're coming to the place that we're supposed to be. And I don't like it. I'm sure we're cutting the budget by a huge amount, but that just wasn't realistic at this time. And so I'm happy with where we've ended up. The numbers that it turned out to be almost identical to what I said several months ago. I get lucky that way. So I'm actually feeling pretty good today, and I'm so glad we got all the numbers consolidated. I also want to give thanks to Dawn for all the hard work that she did with sticking with us and putting all these numbers together. We had a lot of people working, trying to do a lot of different things. In the end, it all came out good, and it's not perfect, but I'm happy. Commissioner?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Marissa, you're here today. I want to just repeat what I said the other day. You weren't here. I'm very proud of these two commissioners. They've worked very hard. Your dad's gone through some treatment. He's been here every day. He'll go down and get the treatment, come right back. It's not easy, so I want to compliment you. And Commissioner Jeffries has worked probably harder than any commissioner we've had here in a long, long time, understanding the budget and working through it. But I'm not going to vote for the budget now. I'll tell you why. First reason is I'm tighter than bark on a tree. I think we spend too much money. I hear from a lot of people as a legislator, especially about gas tax, the potential for a gas tax increase. And they'll throw in every tax right now in Mason County. They're very concerned. They're not doing well. They don't see revenues going up. And some of the fire districts, mine, where I live in Fire District 1, did not take a 1% increase in revenue, and I didn't vote for our increase in revenue as well. But when I look at the numbers, our general fund budget, our current expense budget, is going up around 10%. Our total budget, all in, when you put in public works and all our special funds and wastewater, we're going to go up 7%. Now, I don't know that kind of increased spending is sustainable. So I'm worried that we're on an unsustainable financial trajectory. And while I think that some of the new things implemented in this budget, which will, especially a budget manager and our support services, will save us money in the long run by consolidation, I still see us being able to spend more money because we've cut employees. When I started, there were over 400 county employees. Today we've got, I think, around 315 full-time employees. So that's where most of the expenditures are for a county government or with personnel. So there's a lot less people working here. But I worry too that we use one-time revenues in this budget, like the sale of our timber, sale of the double WSU building out there used to be the Timberland Library building. Some of the things that we use, we won't have available in the future. So I don't want to denigrate the budget. I don't want to run it down. I think you've done a great job working on it. I just feel that I'm a little more conservative right now, and as you get older, maybe you get more conservative. But I worry about the future and the revenues that are not coming back very rapidly here in the county. So, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to move to adopt the 2014 budget in a total amount of $91,908,566, the current expense budget of $33,809,280, total other funds of $58,099,296.
I will second. It's been moved and seconded for the adoption 2014 budget, the total amount of $91,908,566. Current expense number is $33,809,280, and the total other funds $58,099,296. Any discussion?
Thank you again, President, and Don, for all your work.
I do want to add one piece of discussion for it. I don't disagree with you, Commissioner Sheldon, not one iota, and I think next year, in order to make this work, granted we have the money to do what we're doing, but in order to make this work, we're going to have to look at perhaps a levy shift or some other things in order to continue in the direction that we are moving. There's no way around it. We cannot do this indefinitely. This is a couple of years at best, but I think we're going to be looking at some heavy stuff this next year. And we've already been working on it. They're just, at some point run out of time before the budget comes due. And so I think we're prepared for it. Anything further? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
The ayes have it. The budget is adopted.